Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm here with Daniel, and Daniel is a painter based out of Lagos, Nigeria. When we talk about building houses, we talk about the process of building and everything that goes into it. The part of building that I think we mostly underrate are the little things and the not so little things. And one of the things, or one of the parts that we underrate very much, it's painting, right? And paint is what will either make the house look good or look bad, no matter how beautiful the house is. So Daniel is a professional painter. He has a lot of experience. He works with multinationals, banks, companies, multinational companies, and he paints for them. So I had to track him down for us to sit down today. Let's just talk about the process of painting. Right, okay, so Daniel, how long have you been doing this? Like, how long have you been painting?
Yeah, professionally, I've been painting since 2017.
2017?
Yes.
Okay. And what has your experience been like being a professional painter?
Wow, it's been awesome. It's been wonderful, and it's born out of passion to paint. So I could really say it's been very awesome all this while.
Okay. Now, what special thing about painting do you think that people should know that they don't know?
Is the painting itself. The way people perceive painting, they see it as just one small thing. And like you rightly said in the beginning of your introduction, like the way everything is set, painting is one of the aspect of building that brings out the beauty of a house, of whatever it is you are doing. So in everything you are doing, at the end of the day, if your painting is not properly done, you will not get the you not actually have what you intend to have.
The
beauty of the place and everything. So if your painting is not attuned to the standard of your AutoCAD or whatever, your prototype of the building, probably if you are having hands that are not well trained to handle your projects, at the end of the day you find yourself having issues. Okay. And it's going to speak bad of the engineers or whosoever that supervise the project.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the third question I have for you is, who is a professional painter? Because it's paint now. Everybody can paint. Even me, I can just buy. Yeah, I can buy paint and buy roller and start. Yeah. I can paint a room.
The thing is,
but why should people hire you, or why do people hire you against just getting somebody to just paint?
Yeah, the thing is, first of all, just getting people to start to paint is one thing.
Okay.
But getting a professional painter that will give you professional advice as at the standard materials you need. You don't just have to buy the paint and start applying on the wall. There are some other things we need to do. And it's not everybody that are so aware that, like, just this way we are seated now.
Yes.
If you just buy this satin and you apply on the wall over time, it's not going to give you the legitimacy you need. There are some other things like the wall primer you need to add. You need to first of all prime the wall before applying your paint, because that one too, it serves a purpose. But not all painters follow these procedures, because that one too is time taking and all that. Maybe they will just charge you to apply that satin on your wall. The same time is not the same time it will take you, because you have to expand more energy in first of all applying your primer, allowing it to dry before you apply your satin. So many people they do a lot of cut and join. They not follow the normal standard procedure to achieve what you want to achieve.
So you know that what, as a professional painter, you people focus on the little details.
Yeah, of course, we go
that
more.
Will make
the painting last for you.
Last very long. Okay, now, what is your portfolio like? What brands have you worked with? What companies have you worked with?
Presently, currently working with a company, the Titan Paints Nigeria Limited. It's a Nigeria paints company that is based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
And their professional services are just paints production and all that. So presently, I'm the project supervisor of the company. Supervise their projects wherever they are. Whenever we have any sites, I'm always on ground to ensure that our paints are well applied on the walls. And we've worked severally with different banks, Access Bank, and we've worked with Fidelity Bank, and we've done other big projects within and outside Lagos too. Yeah.
Okay, so you know that once you travel outside of
travel
Lagos
outside Lagos
to go and paint.
yes, mostly east part of the country. We go to Owerri, Aba, all those places.
Okay, you paint houses for.
Yes, residential houses and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you a question. Let's assume now that I approach you, right, and I say, I want to paint my house, right? Oh, what are the, or even if I don't approach you, like for the first time, I want to paint my house. What are the things that I'm supposed to look out for, right? That there are two questions in one. Okay, let me ask you. Let's just take one first. Let's assume now that I call you now, Mr. Daniel. I want to paint my house, but I don't know what to do or where to start from. What will you? How do you usually approach clients like that?
First of all, like you just want to paint and you don't have idea
Yeah,
of the type of paint you need
yeah. I
to
don't
use
really know
for
what to do. Yeah,
First of all, as a professional painter, what I do is, paints have different variants. Like we have the satin, we have the matte, we have the emulsion, and it depends on the person what you have, what your budget is.
Okay.
So we work with your budget. If your budget is for satin, we work with your budget. We use satin because which is quite expensive than the matte and emulsion. But if your budget falls under the category of the matte, we use your matte for the walls. And if your budget falls for the emulsion, we use the emulsion. And we'll go as far as explaining to you the different types of paints.
Okay.
And the reason, like for the emulsion now, mainly I usually advise my client to use the emulsion for the ceiling.
Okay.
Because ceiling is a place that you don't normally get to.
Yeah,
Because art doesn't get to it.
Yeah.
Unlike the satin that is very washable because it's synthetic in nature.
Okay.
Like the matte too, matte is very strong, and we always advise clients to use matte for their outside exterior walls.
Okay.
Because it has a very high standard texture that can withstand any temperature. So normally, if you don't have ideas, once you tell me your budget, I should be able to advise you to do this category of painting. We can either do matte for inside, do satin for inside, depends on what your budget is.
Okay, here's the question. What is a good budget? You mentioned the word budget like 3 or 4 times now. In this last answer you gave. What is a good budget? For me, let's say, for instance, I want to paint a 3-bedroom. I want to paint a 5-bedroom duplex. So, what is a good budget?
Well, like different paints with different prices and with different companies.
Okay, maybe I should come. Let's refrain. Maybe I should ask you this one first. What are the different kinds of paints, and what are the different kinds of paint we have in the market that somebody can paint a house, right? And which one will you recommend that is the best? Let's assume now that I call you, I have money. Money is not the problem.
Yes.
And I say, Daniel, I just want the best. What will you?
Yeah, like presently, I told you I work for a company, right?
Yes.
So we go as far as producing the best paints for you. So when you tell me, okay, money is not the problem, all you need is standard quality paint. So we go as far as producing that standard quality paint you want.
Okay.
The thing is, the same material you use to producing that fake is the same material you use to producing the other. Let me not say fake, substandard.
Okay.
It's the same material you use to producing the very high standard paint. All you just need is maybe extra materials or some chemicals that are not added here that are added here. Why some people decide to use those substandard because they don't have money. But if money is not your problem, my company's tighter paints, we are able to make sure that we give you the very best of paints that will at least, like you say for like 5-bedroom or 3-bedroom duplex. When we look at maybe the quotation and everything, because sometimes we do by square meters, we do measurement by square meters. Like our satin, let me say our paint generally. When you want to do it by square meter, you look at the square meter that one drum covers. You understand? So by then you'll be able to calculate how many drums you need for that 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom. All right. So whenever I'm giving that opportunity to just make a choice, money is not the problem. All I just do is just go to the place professionally. If I look around, I should be able to tell you, 5 buckets, 10 buckets will be enough to cover this space.
Okay. Now, what are the other question I asked was, what are the different types of paints?
Okay, like
I know I'm not a painter, but I know that there are different kinds
Yeah.
and different levels of paint. So can you outline them for us?
Yeah, like the emulsion paints is just one normal basic paints where that we normally use for the ceiling and all that. The difference between the emulsion and the matte is the matte is a little bit higher version of the emulsion paint.
Okay.
The matte normally is mainly used for outside because it has a very high chemical composition
Okay.
that is quite stronger than that of the emulsion. So we normally suggest use this mat for outside because maybe for some area of high humidity, it has the capacity to withstand any temperature, at least for as long as 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, depends on the product. Like for Tiger Paint, I'm speaking for you. I'm speaking on behalf of my company now. Our mat is able to withstand at least, no matter the temperature, at least 3 years, 4 years of duration without any issues.
Before you have to
Retouch
it.
retouch and repaint. While the satin is just maybe a synthetic paint, just like it has a very shiny sheen. So the difference between the satin and the matte is the satin is very synthetic. When you apply it and it's dirty, you can wash the surface over time. Of course, you can wash the surface. So it's just the three differences. The satin is very synthetic. The matte is just like a very higher version of the emulsion with very strong chemical composition.
Okay. So I know you've answered this before, but I'll ask you again. Between these three paints, the matte, the satin, and the emulsion, which one is the better one amongst them? Or are there different qualities of each of these paints?
Yes, like the satin, for my company, we have the standard satin, we have the premium satin, we have the satin extra.
Okay.
So these ones, there are three categories based on what you have.
Based on how much you have.
Yes, based on your budget. So that we are still trying as much as possible to make sure, even with your low budget, we are able to work for you. So all we just have to do is to explain to you that, okay, this normal standard satin is not going to be as glossy, as shiny as the premium, because they are going to a little bit reduce the standard. Just at least it should still appear that you use satin, but the difference is going to be on the spread rates and the coverage rates.
Okay.
So if you are going to use one bucket to cover this whole place for using standard, if you are going to use the premium, you might not need a full bucket to cover this place. And if you are going to use extra, you might need half buckets to cover the whole room.
So
because of the spread rates and the coverage of the paint.
Okay, so in other words, if I'm getting you clearly from a layman's perspective, it means the more expensive, like the higher the quality of the paint, the lesser amount you need to cover a place.
Exactly.
Okay, because it seems the more expensive ones.
Yeah, they has more spread and more coverage.
Okay, so in other words, if maybe the second level paint of that same paint will need one bucket to cover this room, the highest one will maybe have
buckets, yes.
Okay, to cover, and it's more expensive.
It's more expensive, yes.
Okay, so in other words, as I asked earlier, each of these three paints that you mentioned have their different categories. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Now, so are there paints? Are there different? I know you said earlier that you advise people to use matte paint outside, right?
Yes.
So, question I want to ask is: are there special paints for inside the house and special paints for outside the house?
Yes.
Or it's just the same paint? You just choose way to paint it.
They are the like I said, the mattes. For my company, the reason why we suggest the matte for outside is it has a very strong chemical composition.
Okay.
That is strong enough to withstand. Like the satin itself, if you decide to paint your satin outside, this satin is synthetic, it's like nylon. If it's exposed to heat and sun over time, it's going to melt. Look like
it's peel. I've seen that situation before.
Exactly. So like the matte is very strong. It's very firm on the wall. Over time, you can leave it for 3 years. If there's nothing like if nobody is going there to scratch the paint, it's going to remain there for 3 years, and maybe until it gets there and you want to repaint. But saying that it's going to peel off, except maybe there's something water leakage that normally goes to affect the wall and allow it to start peeling. But if not, it's going to be very, very firm on your wall for a long period of time. I mean the mats especially. So we always advise our clients to use mats for outside because it has a very strong chemical composition that can last a long period of time on the outside walls.
Okay. Now, in one of the pictures you showed me of your work somewhere, I saw that you were doing something like a frame on the wall
Okay.
where you were designing it. Like it looked pretty good. How do you do that? Is it paint that you use in doing that? I used to think it was POP people that did that. I didn't know
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
paint.
yeah. Actually, there's already an image that was
Mm.
casted.
On
So
the
on
wall.
the wall, we just need
Okay,
to
not you that
no, no,
did
no,
it.
no. That's just like a metallic painting. That's a metallic gold painting I was doing on
Okay,
that.
you just came
I
to
just came
design
to
it to bring that art to life
yes, yes. There's already a sculpture that was already
on the wall.
designed on the wall. All we need to do is just to paint it and bring the color out.
Okay. So, but in that process, normally, do you guys usually talk to which people are the will construct those frames? Is it the POP guys or
Yeah, the POP guys actually they have the already made plastic. All they just need to do is to buy the plastic and cast it. Once it's dry, they will open it and attach it, just fix it on the wall.
okay, attach it
Just
on the
yes,
wall?
it's just for us to paint.
Okay, so do you now come in and then you can now paint it
Paint yes, any color you want us to paint for
and do
you.
those designs on the wall?
Yes.
Okay. Now, nice. Now, for a let's assume now that I have okay. Before I go to that question, what usually inspires your mixing of colors when it comes to a house? You know, there are, these days you hardly see a house that somebody uses one color.
Yeah.
Mostly outside, you see they use different colors. So, what usually inspires those colors that you guys use?
You know, like I usually tell people, painting is one beautiful thing to do. You know, it's just like you are transferring the imaginative ideas inside of you to life. So when you have different kinds of color, so the beauty of color is the ability for you to combine one or two colors to give you a very beautiful building. So most times you see clients, they will just tell you this is what they want because they've thought it through in their mind. They've joined those two colors in their mind. It's just to now transfer it to life. Give me, okay, tell me, I want so color is you already imagine what the building should look like.
Yeah.
Just have the AutoCAD of the building, like a prototype of it in your mind. So
Okay.
the ability for us to interpret that what you already conceived in your mind, that's where the professionalism now comes in. So sometimes our clients they will tell us, okay, can this color and this color fly? When we look at the color variations, we tell them no, they can't fly because it's going to look ugly. So they will now step in to give professional advice. And sometimes we will even go as far as signing an undertaking that after painting this building, this color will come out to be this beautiful. If it does not come out, hold me responsible because I'm a professional. I've done this before and I know what it takes. Because most people they will just say, okay, you don't want to do trial and error after climbing up to 3 to 4 story building to paint down, then to find out that oh this color does not really match. But if you're a professional, you've done this before, you should be able to convince your client to tell them as a statement of fact, tell them this is what you are going to get. And at the end of the day, after the project, the person will come to appreciate that what you already have inside of you was brought to life through colors.
Oh wow. So you have situations where you have to sign undertaking.
A
If
lot.
the paint is not good.
And they will tell you this is what I think. So once you want to suggest and they want to buy into your idea, you should be able to understand what you are giving to them and stand by it. Because sometimes those clients they don't want to start spending money after they've bought materials. All they just want you to do. Sometimes what we do, especially me, I will not want to mix the paints from the factory. I'll just buy white paints and I'll buy the color paste. So before I apply the paint on the wall, I'll first of all do test run of the colors on the sample board and show my clients, okay, these are the color combinations. How is it going to look? Do you like it like this before we go as far as applying on the wall?
Applying on the wall, okay.
In order to avoid all those too many stories.
Oh, okay, that you paint.
Yes.
But have you ever had any situation like that you painted and the client comes and he doesn't like it?
A lot. I think Ejina Desmond will attest to this in Nazi, Imo State. After the person actually conceived the color and gave us the color chart to follow. So we bought the paints. After everything, he said he don't like the paints. He has to, get other materials again, and we had to repaint the same place we just painted.
Okay, but that one was not your fault.
No, it's not my fault.
Because
But
he picked the
he actually
paint.
paid the colors and gave me to do.
Okay.
And actually, when I saw the colors, I couldn't advise the person because I don't know if that's what you really want. But after everything and he came, he saw it was looking ugly in his eyes, and I said, okay. At that point, I was exonerated. I was not going to be held responsible because it was not my decision. I was just giving a go ahead to work, so I did my own part. Yes.
Okay. Wow, interesting. These are things that sometimes you might not really know. Okay, so let me go back to the question I asked you from the beginning. Like a 5-bedroom duplex now, for instance, with the current Buhari economy, not Buhari anymore, Tinubu,
Yes.
with the $1,500 economy, how much will it cost to roughly? I'm not saying you give me the exact figures. How much do you think somebody should budget between maybe 1 million to 5 million, 2 million to 3 million? Let's start. Okay, let's start with, we're using the highest quality of paint, right?
I think with 2 million naira, with labor inclusive and other maintenance to be done, logistics and everything,
including the paint.
Yes, with 2 million naira, I think with good paints, both exterior and exterior.
Okay.
So I think with 2 million naira you can.
So you're telling me now that if I have assuming I have a 5-bedroom duplex I want to paint,
yes,
and I have 2 million now, I can use the best quality paint.
Best quality of paint, and you still get your desired results.
And I get my desired result.
Yes.
Oh, okay. What's the most expensive house you painted?
I think that was 2021 to 2022 in Imbise, Imo State. It was a palatial building owned by one Mr. Let me know go the name. So the place was so massive that even when I went for the quotation, I was at least I was stunned. When I gave the quotation and everything, I was made to understand that if I overquote, I will be kicked out of the job. If I underquote, I'll be kicked out of the job. So I was just left in between. So that was where my professionalism had to come in. At that point, I had to use my brain to check the size of the house to compare to what I've done before. And I calculated, and to God be the glory. I did not give excess quote. I did not give below. At the end of the day, I finished the project, and the man was very excited and even gifted me something safe at the end of the project. So that was when I knew at the point that project was so massive that it took us a month plus just to paint it both in and out.
Okay. Is that the most expensive?
Yes.
How much did the project
I think
cost?
that project was about 8.9 million.
8.9 million just to paint?
Yes.
How massive was the house?
Yeah, the house is about 6 bedrooms, but the thing is there are a lot of compartments, a lot of designs, a lot of metallic gold painting, both in and out.
Okay, so
these things they
you have
took
to
quite
be sure.
a while. Yes, even the iron bars and everything, they had this what's the structure? This lion head structure on the iron bars. Even small structure, you have to paint all these things gold with chocolates and gold. So those things took us a while before we now enter the main building.
Okay. So in other words, those calves and all those things,
yes,
you had to really be in details to make it clean.
And the man was very, 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 very concerned about the paints and asked us to give him the very best paints. So we took our time to make sure we gave him the best. So if it's something of 50,000, we would tell you give him the one of 65,000. That was how serious he needed us to give him, because the place it's a place that he hosts a lot of big men. So he was like, okay, this house is going to be a signature for us to at least advertise our product and everything. And actually we did as expected.
Okay. All right, Mr. Daniel, thank you so much, sir. At least
my pleasure,
I've been enlightened about painting today. I didn't really, when we are talking about building construction, most time we're just focused on the rods, the blocks, and the roofing and all of that. So painting is a very, very strong part of finishing.
And funny enough, most of the time, you see, like I usually advise most engineers, don't always leave your site. Always try to have foreman on site when you are working. Have someone that will always supervise the work of the tiler, the mason, the screeders, everybody. Because at the end of the day, there are some shabby jobs that are done when we are about to paint. That's when you start to notice those errors. And we can't just go ahead and paint. We have to go and do what just a due diligence that other people are supposed to do before we come, because they refuse to do it, or maybe unknowingly they didn't do. So if we go ahead to paint, it will even spoil our work. So we have to now take time to do those maintenance. Sometimes we have to even crack skirting, because sometimes those mason people, they want to lay skirting on your wall. They will just use raw cement and they will not clean it, or they will not smoothen the surface. They will just leave it and go. So when we're about to paint, we can't paint your skirting and make it look rough. We have to scrape the cement or screed again before we leave it to dry and start painting. So sometimes those things take time. So painting is one very, very technical work in the sites that people neglect a lot. But once you have started painting and those errors comes out, they are going to put the blame on you. They're not going to blame the people that have left those errors. They would like, okay, you notice it. What did you do about it? But if initially, as they are working, you monitor what they are doing and everything, you will spend less money on painting. So most times they just want to just do it shabbily and hoping, okay, painters will come and do their work and everything. So when we come, we'll have to sandpaper, fill. So after screening and everything, you still find holes on the walls. Maybe some places are slanted, some are bulged. So we have to use fillers to fill and everything. So sometimes when we now give quotes for painting, we've noticed some of those errors, and we give you quote for the materials to do the maintenance. You'll be like, shouldn't be just painting, but we've noticed something that will take us more materials and time. But because you feel, oh, it's just painting, because we want to protect our image to give you the best. And if you don't go as far as doing maintenance and all those things, you just paint as you see, it's going to come out so ugly. And at the end of the day, we will not be able to explain that it was the people that did these things. So sometimes it's just a kind of awareness to tell people, once you are supervising a site, from the lining and everything, make sure everything, the wall sockets, there's no holes. Everything is well structured and well cut out, so that we will not have to come back to refill. And in doing all those things, you never get the perfect job. So it comes out to fall back on the painters, and most times, when you don't even pay well, we'll just do it like that and go. But a person like me, I don't do. Once I negotiate with you, I'll first of all that's why I don't give blind quotation. You don't just call me on phone and tell me how much can I paint to 3-bedroom. I'll come to the place, I'll have physical assessments to make sure that everything is in place. All the things that I need, like if the plumber or if the mason person did not do his work, I'll tell you, call the mason person to come and correct this thing. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to charge the work of a mason that I'm going to do. Yeah, that's just how it has been.
All right, Daniel. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for coming. And thank you for taking out your time to educate us on painting. So we hope to maybe one of these days, if you have a site that you're working on, you can call us and come and check it out. And we can talk about it on site. Thank you so much. Have a good day, sir.
My pleasure, sir.